For this demo, we'll be creating a project with network activities from scratch. We'll begin by going to transaction code CJ20N, which is our project builder. Next, what we'll do is we'll go to Project Menu Path, we'll go New, Project, and here in your Identification and View Selection screen, you're going to be entering your project definition and also be entering the desired project description. Remember to use a proper number schema for the project definition. We'll call this one Boat Demo 2. Next, what you'll need to be entering under your Control Data tab is you'll need to choose your project profile. For this demo, we'll be choosing our U-Haul demo project profile, and unless you're otherwise instructed, choose and work off of that one. A reminder here is that this project profile is the DNA to your project and cannot be changed once you've saved. Choose the correct profile. Next, we'll go on to our Basic Data tab, and we'll need to enter our start date for the project. For this, we'll have a start date 2 months out from the day that you're working on it. Finally, we'll hit enter, and your result will be your project definition will have been created. You'll see that over on the left side of your screen. Next, we're going to drag and drop Level 1 WBS element onto your project definition. This WBS element will contain all the same data as your project definition. However, on the Basic Data tab, you'll need to check off the Account Assignment Element radio box. This needs to be completed on all your consecutive WBS elements which you plan on posting commitments and actuals to. Make sure your numbering schema is correct. This will have the same data as your project definition. What we'll do following this is we'll keep adding our WBS elements until you get a structure that looks similar to that in this demo. Remember, here is where you're going to check off the radio box for Account Assignment Element on all of your WBS elements. So we'll hit enter again, and you'll see your Level 1 WBS element appear. We'll continue the process. We'll just name these accordingly. And again, your account assignment element needs to be checked. We'll hit enter. And we'll do one more Level 2. Account assignment element, and enter. Now we're going to make some Level 3 WBS elements. So you hover over the one you want it to be a subsidiary to. So this one's going to be subsidiary to your hulls. And remember to have your correct numbering schema. Our hulls were -01, so because this is the next level down, we're going to do another -01. Account assignment element, enter. Remember, if you want it to be on the same level as the last one, you hover on the one that it will be subsidiary to. Correct numbering schema. name, count assignment element, enter. We'll do one last one on this level. There's our drivetrain, we're going to name that one. And again, our count assignment element. And enter, we're going to do 2 more WBS elements. We'll put one under Dex. Number it correctly. Give it a name. Check our account assignment element. Hit enter. And our final one, and I'm just naming these randomly. I'm not don't have a specific naming schema versus the numbering schema. Check our account assignment element radio box and hit enter. Next, we're going to add activities to the respective WBS elements. There are 2 primary ways to add activities to your WBS elements. One would be right-clicking specifically on the WBS element which you'd like to add activities to, and the other is you can drag and drop an activity from the templates work area down here on the left of the screen, and you can drag it up onto the respective activity that you're trying to add it to. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and add activities. Activity elements also can be added to your activities. Your activities on the project break down your WBS elements, so respectively the activity elements break down your activities into more detail. In project systems, there are the same categories for your activity elements as there are for your activities. So in example, you'd have internal, external, costs and services. You can create activity elements on any existing activity, and the elements themselves are made up of the same information as the activities. We'll get into that later. So we'll go ahead and add some internal elements or internal activities to our WBS elements. So we'll just do the same process as we did before. We'll drag and drop. We'll go here. We'll drop it onto our drivetrain. You'll notice that your activity has a number, but it doesn't necessarily have a numbering schema similar to your WBS elements. We'll talk about that here briefly after we see the numbers that appear. So we have to name them similar to our WBS elements. We'll hit enter. And you'll notice here, this is the number I was talking about. We don't necessarily have the same numbering schema. It's going to be a system generated number. You'll also notice that your network header for your activities was created just by simply dragging and dropping the activity onto your WBS element. So you don't need to add a network header to your WBS elements. We'll go ahead and continue that process and add a couple of activities here. Remember to hover over what you want it to be subsidiary to. And we'll go ahead and name it. And hit enter. And we'll do that a couple more times. We'll do one more on this one. And now we'll add some on our lower WBS elements. Name this one electronics. And this one power. and finally a couple on our lower one. And one final one. Notice here again that the network headers and the network activities do not have numbers associated with them. These will be system generated numbers which will be assigned once the project has been saved. One final thing to notice before you save this project, or before we finish this demo, is the system status. Take note of how it changes when you move through the WBS Elements, networks, and activities. One status example is NTUP, N-T-U-P. This means that dates are not updated. Users can utilize the blue I, or information icon, at the end of the system status bar to identify what the statuses indicate. So here's your system status, and here's our blue icon. If we go up to our drivetrain, one of our WBS elements, you'll notice that the system status just reads created. If we go to a network header, you'll notice that it has multiple different system status markings, and this is where you'll see the NTUP example. Here's where you can click on your icon to figure out what the rest of them are. It'll pop up a screen. You'll see it here, and it's telling us that you'll have activity account assignments. It's showing that it's creative or created, and so on and so forth. What you can do here is back out. It brings you back to the project, and what we'll do next is we're going to go ahead and save our project. Now that we've saved our project, you'll see down here on the left side of your screen that you have last projects processed. We'll go ahead and open our last project. We'll extend our left side down, and here's where you'll notice that the system generated numbers identifying your networks and your activities contained within those networks. Thank you.